Asura Wrath is a video game developed by CyberConnect 2 and published by Capcom on February 2012. The game was released with critical success, however it didn't perform well commercial-wise, leaving no more room for a sequel. However, over the years, it became an underrated masterpiece by old and new fans of the series. But why? In this review, I'll be explaining what made Asura Wrath so great.
Wait for me.
Asura Wrath is a video game created by CyberConnect 2 and published by Capcom, which began development in 2007. In an interview from Hiroshi Matsuyama, CEO of CyberConnect 2, he commented, "Our main concept was that we wanted to reach out to audiences all over the world with Asura's Wrath. That's why we focused on Wrath as our main concept. It's something that anybody can relate to. It's an emotion that's very powerful. It's sometimes seen as negative, but it can be a driving force that helps you overcome any obstacle." In Japanese entertainment and comics, and in games as well, there are many interesting depictions of Wrath already, things like Dragon Ball and Naruto, and we love those kinds of comics and games. So we thought, what can we do if we really focus on that? How interesting can we make it? That was our challenge to ourselves. And I gotta say, they nailed it. However, gameplay wise, it wasn't really that good. The entire gameplay is more like button mashing. You don't just press one single button, there's also holding a button to do an air launcher, a dive attack, and also planning your attacks so you can have the most possible damage to fill up your rage meter. You play as Asura, one of former 8 deity generals in an endless war against the Goma, basically a function of the will of the planet, Gaia, that kills everyone. The game starts with you fighting for a cause, what your daughter believes in, and what your family believes in, until you are ultimately betrayed by those you fought. And 12 years have passed, and he finds that almost nothing has changed. But based on the game, it was basically based off Buddhist religion, with 8 mantras, all of which fighting for their own goals and causes. Kalra is the deity of sloth. He wants to make plans while not doing anything. Sergei is the deity of vanity, who only cares about beauty. Olga, deity of lust, only lusts for Deus. August, deity of greed, only cares about the thrill of the fight, pleasure, materialism. Deus, deity of pride, fights for his pride in defeating Vitra. Wise in violence, Yasha, melancholy, and Asura, wrath. And strangely enough, even if he's the god of wrath, he doesn't actually have a real belief. But Asura fights for his family. His family is all he cares about, to the point he will hurt anyone that dares makes his daughter and wife cry. And throughout the game, his belief doesn't change. However, he finds his belief not enough as his own wrath breaks before him. As he finds himself in a position similar to Wizen, a man with a belief but lacking power to back it up, versus the instrument of a deity with a just cause and power, and a man lacking power is no match for a man with power. And he finds himself back in Araka, same place, different time. As Asura climbs with only his wrath to guide him, the memories of his past come back to haunt him. The cries of the unavenged. He's not guided by only wrath, but the unchanging belief to save his daughter, to defeat Vitra, and to avenge the cries that go unavenged. The gods don't save them, they only need them for power, for fuel to serve their cause. She has no power, but a strong belief. And her belief and understanding makes her angry, something which Asura understands way too well.
I know how you feel.
And I find this scene ironic because he is the god of wrath, yet he empathizes with her. He is more human than the rest of the deities. He finds himself questioning and facing a belief stronger than his from his former master, August. He views himself not having an actual belief just like Asura. However, he's only guided by his materialistic and biological desires.
Enjoy every moment. You fight, then eat good food. You fight, then drink fine wine. You fight, then sleep with beautiful women. Hell, fight with beautiful women. That is what it means to live.
He has an amazing power and knows how to use it. And eventually, these battle of beliefs leads to the moon. It becomes a battle of a man who knows himself and his power versus a man with an unchanging belief and a power he cannot completely control. And as the fight progresses, he finds his power breaking again. But with his belief alone, he wins.
You no longer need my training. The one who stands in the end is righteous. Asura, walk the path that you must.
And the only thing he can rely on is his wrath to save him and the village. And Asura again finds himself powerless to save anyone and is consumed by wrath. Thinking back, it made me consider why Deus made Asura the scapegoat instead of Wizen. But then I am reminded that Deus is the deity of pride and possibly couldn't handle a wrathful, sick-headed idiot like Asura being the savior of the world.
Yasha? Sir. Power without a purpose is meaningless and worthless. A purpose that is firm can change the impossible to the possible. That is the power of our cause. Yes, sir.
Yasha is the deity of melancholy, the oil to Asura's water. If you don't know what melancholy is a feeling of pensive sadness, typically with no obvious cause.
When you live among the stars, you lose sight of what is happening on the ground.
He fights for a cause he doesn't entirely believe in, however, he believes it is the only way to save the world. Or is it?
Hesitate.
Our cause is genuine. We are in the right.
You need to live in the moment more. You think too much.
If Asura's power was enough to rival them, then maybe there is another way that doesn't require any more bloodshed.
But my soul tells me different. It
Screams to me. Do not let him die.
If the power they have, the power they wasted, is the only way to save the world. Yasha finds a new power, a new cause, a power of purpose. His power and cause isn't enough. But he also finds that the person that's so opposite of him is also that other power and cause he desperately needs. Asura may not have the belief, however he has the power to back it up, that Asura knows he's not smart enough to understand Deus' cause. However, he knows enough that Deus' cause isn't right. However, a different belief is needed. A different belief is needed to save the world. I find the final episode perfectly mirroring the first episode. Before, this will be the moment where Asura will be fighting with his friends, the other deities, and other armies. But now, he fights alone, armed with only his wrath and his belief. And as the fight progresses, you find that again, your power, your wrath, your belief to save the world isn't enough. Yet, he has genuine prayer, a willing daughter, a willing follower who will do anything to save her uncle and father. With their power, of their unchanging belief to save the world for only a better world and nothing else, they defeat Vlitra.
You.
At last, my plan is realized.
The god of everything, the creator of the world, the universe, the creator of the will of Gaia, Vlitra, everything, was all created, all to find a worthy successor to lead the world. Chakravartin made the world because of a test. All those souls lost, all those souls that died with the Goma, all that suffering the deities and Asura went through, the cries of the unavenged, was all because of him.
He's the one. He's the reason for it all. You're the one I should kill!
And even with his will, even with his wrath, he finds himself being defeated again, with his wrath only consuming him, and now the end of the world. And that was the moment that Yasha realizes that Asura is the savior of the world, not because of the power, but because he has a solid belief a righteous belief that he only wanted to fight to save his daughter, to make a world that his daughter can happily live in. No selfishness, nothing about a just cause. He just wanted his daughter to be safe and happy.
Do not be mistaken.
I am not saving you.
You must face an even greater hell than this!
And the final battle is almost like a metaphor between oil and water, wrath and melancholy. As it's not a duel, but almost like a friendly match, as Yasha knows he will lose to Asura's belief and wrath.
Do you think someone like you could do something as important as save the world? You are just a fool that only knows how to break things!
And I will break everything, including this living hell!
Because the first part of the ending goes back to the beginning. Why Asura fights. Why Asura wanted to defeat Vlitra. Not because of a just cause, but only to save his daughter. But only to create a world that his daughter can happily live in. And the only way to do that, to silence his wrath, to avenge the cries of the unavenged, is to kill Chakravartin.
Wait for me.
Asura becomes the destroyer to fight the creator. Asura as the destroyer fights to destroy the living hell the creator has made this world as.
Now do I become a perfect being. I may now leave this world and save other worlds in need of my guidance. Come, enjoy your daughter.
Father!
I am counting on you.
It wouldn't be a good Asura game if it didn't have one good joke.
I refuse!
How dare you defy me?
I will destroy you and your so-called world!
That's unlikely.
Father!
Get back here!
he fights his way through Chakravartin's planets, and as he fights Chakravartin, it's almost like a battle of gods, Asura the Destructor versus Chakravartin the Creator. And as you nearly defeat him, Chakravartin sheds his divinity to show him the monster he truly is. With different powers, different beliefs, as Asura desperately tries to fight against Chakravartin's overwhelming belief and power. However, his wrath overcomes Chakravartin's power and belief. No matter how strong his belief is, it is no match compared to the power and absolute belief of a creator. And in the same fashion as Asura faced Deus, he does the same thing to Chakravartin. As his belief isn't enough, however, his wrath fuels his power, fuels his belief, in a way that his wrath overpowers Chakravartin's creation power alone. And the one thing I'd like to mention is the final QTE. I've seen many videos about this, about people failing this QTE, like it's almost impossible to complete. And I think the QTE of I believe the final QTE is more deep than you think, as Asura's commands are more immediate. However, Chakravartin's commands are almost slower, if not less immediate. It's as if that Chakravartin is becoming desperate. As Asura's powers and belief continues to grow, Chakravartin's power and belief weakens before Asura. As Asura's destructiveness continues, Chakravartin weakens. And it shows that Chakravartin is supposed to lose against Asura's belief, Asura's Wrath, and it leads for his power to grow and for Asura to have a better understanding of his wrath.
There is always some fool who wants to rule the world! Always forcing others to do what they cannot do for themselves! How can he be so powerful? I am the only God! To no one! Nor will I be prayed to! But above all else, I will never forgive you for making my daughter cry!
And in the end, it's almost poetic, as Asura gave justice to all the undying souls who wanted to be avenged. However, because Asura is a deity himself, because he has a belief that's almost sort of selfish in nature, he also had to die. However, with his death, everyone is free to make their own decisions, to make their own beliefs, to be safe, to be happy, and for his daughter to live out her life happy and safe with no Gama, no Vitra, no cause that hurts others. And that's Asura's Wrath. I mean, I know it's like 10 years since the game came out, but I don't know. I first heard about this game when I was like 12 years old. However, I didn't really fully understand until now. And 10 years later, 10 years of different experiences, pandemic, and I found myself playing this game again. And I wish they could have made a sequel. However, with poor sales, I find it unlikely that I'll make a sequel or a remaster. However, I believe that just talking about it helps. But with the way Asura's Wrath ended, I don't think it needs a sequel. It told a story that I wanted to have, and it ended perfectly. It played more as an anime than an actual video game. However, it didn't make it bad. It made it more unique compared to other anime video games and QTE games, where in other QTE games you just press a button and action commences. However, in Asura's Wrath, the QTE and the actions you make with each action is more meaningful and the last.
So, the real reason I wanted to make this video was something happened in my life. Actually, a lot of things happened in my life. COVID hit, and I was hit with mild depression. I lost in touch with a few friends, and I had to take a really deep look to myself. What I loved, what I hate, my beliefs, and to top it all off, my dog died. And there's a war in Ukraine going on, and I just felt angry about a lot of things. Myself, events happening around me, and finding myself helpless to do anything. And I wanted to scream. And then I played this game for the first time in a while, and I realized we all have the power to do something. Even when you believe you don't have power, even when you believe your belief isn't enough, we do whatever we can. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.